away from the car! Go! Everybody away! Up against the wall! You, away from the computer!
This is The Town. It's the 2010 Ben Affleck directed crime thriller set in Boston. Today, it's looked back on as something of a modern classic in the genre. It's propulsive, taut, and character-driven. It's a perfect example of a movie that bucks conventions and genre expectations while also giving you exactly what you want. And it's this subversion that propelled The Little Caper that could into being both a modern classic and a vehicle that resurrected Affleck's career.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is, you can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
There are many types of movies about the criminal underworld: gambling movies, heist movies, drug-running movies, mob movies, the list goes on and on. But these subgenres are all housed under the overarching supercategory of crime movies. And some crime films don't fit neatly into a subgenre. They float in the center of the Venn diagram, unmoored. This idea can be confusing, admittedly, especially when most straight-ahead crime movies feature heists, like Den of Thieves has a heist in it, but it's not a heist film. A heist movie is something like Sneakers, Ocean's 11, or Inside Man. A heist film needs to follow a basic set of rules. The majority of the story needs to chronicle the planning, execution, and fallout of a criminal heist. It also usually features a large cast of characters, each with very different sets of skills.
You're gonna need a crew as nuts as you are.
The subgenre also usually has a large emphasis on twists and things seemingly going wrong, only for that to have been the plan all along. Now, obviously, these aren't actual rules, they're just rubrics by which to measure a given piece of work's relevance within the subgenre. Case in point, Reservoir Dogs is not a heist film. It's a crime film, despite literally being about a heist gone wrong. Why? Because the majority of the film focuses on the fallout from said heist. We actually don't even see the robbery on screen. It all happens off camera. Point Break follows multiple heists, but the film is also not a heist film. It's an action film. Similarly, the Italian Job remake from 2003 is not a very good heist film because most of the film follows the fallout from the heist in the opening scene. Despite wanting to be a heist film, it's more of a revenge story about criminals attempting to steal back what was already theirs. Whereas the 1969 Italian Job is actually a pretty solid example of a heist film because most of the movie is focused around the planning and execution of the heist, even if it doesn't really delve into the fallout.
I do what I do best. I take scores. You do what you do best, trying to stop guys like me.
Heat? Heat is a crime film. In spite of having bank robbery heist as a central component to the film structure, the narrative mostly focuses on the characters, the tension between their maneuvering and the police officers following them. The main point of Heat is the internal ramifications of the choices made by the various members of the crew, and therein lies the secret to understanding Affleck's criminal magnum opus: choices, both within the film and in his own personal life. The Town is a crime movie. It's a movie that features multiple heists, but its emphasis, much like a spiritual forebear to Michael Mann's Los Angeles set epic, is on the characters. The central protagonist is Doug McCrae, played by Affleck himself. It's not a showy performance, but it's a great role for someone at the career crossroads he was at. It's hard to remember now, but when The Town was released, Ben Affleck wasn't exactly in great standing culturally. The once beloved leading man had fallen on something of a hard time. He had just come off of a very notable relationship with multi-hyphenate Jennifer Lopez. They had been in the eye of the hurricane. Tabloids, late-night talk shows, and paparazzi had been obsessed over them for months. And then Gigli was released. It was lambasted by critics and largely ignored by audiences. For a period of time, it was considered the worst reviewed movie ever. It looked like Affleck's time at the top was over.
Stick a fork in me, I'm done.
So what did Affleck do? Well, after licking his wounds for a little bit, he returned to his roots. He co-wrote and directed the indie feature Gone Baby Gone, which started his comeback narrative. And then in the fall of 2010, The Town was released, and it did extraordinarily well for him. It pulled in $154 million off of a budget of $37. But more importantly, it was received very well by critics. It allowed Affleck a comeback vehicle. The crime thriller restored his name, re-cemented him as a critical darling, and proved he could absolutely direct at the caliber of an A-list auteur. Look at the direction of this scene specifically. As our crew of robbers are preparing to jack an armored car early in the film, Affleck takes a second to focus on a young boy witnessing the events that are about to transpire. The slow-motion shot is a POV perspective from inside the getaway van. It's almost guilty, as if the camera itself knows that the characters shouldn't be doing what they're doing. The scene plays out in a series of tight two-shots and POV shots. Propulsive music gives the scene tension, and we follow the crew as they illustrate how skilled, competent, and adept they are. After the robbery goes wrong, with an armored car guard choosing to take one of the assailants as a hostage, we break into a tense car chase scene. This scene is executed with a masterful selection of wide shots to give you perspective on the distance between the cars, interior POV shots, and fixed hood mounted angles. Everything about this sequence is grounded, both from a narrative perspective and from a storytelling perspective. No one is doing backflips or over-the-top car jumps. It's just exactly what would happen if you were fleeing from the cops in an urban area. And the cameras telling the story are all literally grounded, as in they're on the ground, either from bystander perspectives or they're inside the vehicles literally riding along with people involved in the chase. It's a great sequence. But this direction isn't the only reason why the town works. It features an all-star cast of actors and a whip-smart script.
What are you gonna get done? Huh? You're gonna get picked up for intimidating a witness. You walk within 100 feet of her, that's 10 years.
The fact that it's Heat in Boston, as opposed to Ocean's 11 in Boston, is what sets it apart though. There's probably a producer somewhere who would say there needs to be more twists, and they could have been correct. There's a potential to purchase the rights to Chuck Hogan's original novel, Prince of Thieves, that the film was based on, and just use it for the name and take it off in another direction. There hasn't really been a successor to the Ocean's 11 crown since the original Ocean's trilogy. Even the attempted all-female reboot didn't quite land the way everyone wanted it to. And when you think about where Affleck was at the beginning of the process of making this film, it's easy to come at this project from a sense of fear. To be making decisions about what you think the audience wants is a tempting path forward, but that's not what you have to do. You need to tell the story and be as true to the characters as possible. The town, in many ways, showcases Affleck's romantic side as much as his action-heavy director side. The way he puts you in Doug McCrae's shoes and builds a narrative permission structure for you to understand why he's making objectively crazy choices is so impressive. The core of Hogan's novel is the character work. It's laboriously researched. He's originally from Boston, and when he read in an article that more bank robbers come from Charlestown than anywhere else in the country, he instantly knew there was a book there. And it shows. The crushing poverty, the familial bonds, and the high-stakes emotions that are in the book are developed and built out even more in the movie. Ben Affleck's legacy has been so thoroughly redeemed, it's hard to remember a time before he was Batman, before he won the Oscar for Argo, before he was a Dunkin' Donuts meme. But there was a time when it looked like it was all over for Boston's Crown Prince, when the glory days were behind him and he'd officially be riding off into the sunset as he had been. The town isn't a heist movie, but there is a heist involved in this production. Honestly, Ben Affleck succeeded in making the biggest heist of all time with this movie. He stole his career back from the jaws of oblivion. By choosing to make a simple, emotional, resonant story with good action and real heart, Affleck did the impossible. He co-wrote, directed, and starred in a film that wasn't a vanity project, and it succeeded in giving him another 2 decades of career. Hey, at the end of the day, this is what separates true movie stars from people who appear in films. The ability to not take no for an answer, to write and produce your way out of a hole. Every creative person finds themselves behind the 8 ball eventually. It just happens. When you're going out on a limb, it's just simple math that some things are not going to work.
Damn it!
Jack Nicholson has said repeatedly that the reason he was such a successful actor is that he was a great writer. Bill Murray has said similar things as well, and this is a perfect example of Affleck writing himself out of the paparazzi's crosshairs. And the ultimate consolation prize? We got a classic film in the process. And well, that's all we have for this episode. What do you think? Can you think of another time a director or actor has willed themselves out of a hole through making a movie? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more Nerdstalgic videos just like this.